briefly chatted about in the chat room earlier, Andre. Give us the lowdown on your views on that.
Absolutely. And by the way, check out andrewalker.uk, his new website, which we got to add into the plugs later on as well. Back on topic, though, Russ, and before we get back on topic, actually, thank you to Andrew and Anna Marr from Warrior Angels Foundation. They're doing some great work. You'll be hearing more from them in the weeks and months to come this year and beyond. We're going to get behind them in a big way, Russ, for sure. Back on topic. This Orlando shooting, where do we go from here now? Are voters of this LGBT quote-unquote community going to give a new look at Donald Trump as a result?
I think it's almost inevitable. I mean, at the end of the day, every group of people in the United States puts one thing above all else: remaining alive. That's usually your number one priority when you go to the poll booth.
Let's see. Keeping money maybe a little higher, but yeah, staying alive is kind of like the goal of life.
I mean, let's just put it this way. George Bush lost the popular election in his first election. He lost it against Al Gore. After 9/11, George Bush's popularity was through the roof. Support for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan through the roof. And he won a re-election against the guy who's the Secretary of State now.
But the difference between then and now is this attack seems to have been targeted at a certain segment of the population. Is it the responsibility of the people within that segment to wake up and lead top up, or is it going to come from top down or bottom up?
See, but you're falling into like the left's paradigm here, where
go ahead and tell me how.
As a segment of the population, and dare I say, like Ted Cruz almost sees things like where there's New York values and everything else. And by the way, I'm still a Ted Cruz guy,
and there are New York values.
But 9/11 happened in New York City. I didn't hear Texans saying, well, it's that segment of the population that needs to wake up because it's all liberals in New York City that were attacked. No, the right doesn't say things like that. The right sees this attack in Orlando, the attack on 9/11, the Fort Hood shooting, I can go on and on
San Bernardino,
as attacks against this country. It's only the left that slices and dices Americans into smaller groups where we can just write them off then. That's not what the right does, and that's not what this country's about.
And if you don't believe that, take a look at the initial reaction on social media. Again, we talked about this earlier, when we're talking about Pray for Orlando and all that. Did you see an American flag in a lot of those memes, or did you see a rainbow flag?
And that sickened me, because I was watching the TV, and I see in San Francisco they had some gay pride parade, and I get it's a gay pride parade, but every time they mention Orlando, they're waving the rainbow flag. What country does that represent? Stop it already. Stop it. Become part of the winning team. Get on board. And I'm not just talking about Trump. I'm talking about join the American team. What the hell's wrong with you people?
And I think that's the point. I think we've kind of nailed it. When you pray for Orlando, it's an American issue. When the attack in Paris happened, everyone had Paris flags overlaid on their Facebook profile picture. Remember that stuff, guys? When the attacks happened in other places outside of America, you see that country uniting in their national identity and looking to get their pound of flesh, so to speak, from the terrorists to try to eradicate the terrorist element that hurt their nation, their people. America better wake up, man. I mean, listen, 9/11 was an attack on America. The attack in Orlando is an attack on America, because what is more American lately than the idea that there is an equality between people who are gay and straight? If there is such an equality as Russ is saying, then you're an American first, and everything else comes later. You're an American.
Look at the left, Gene. Look at what they do. They shut down, or try to shut down, Donald Trump rallies. They attack Trump supporters, attack them openly while the police watch. That's despicable, by the way. The people who run those police departments ought to be ashamed of themselves. And what flags do they wave at these anti-Trump rallies?
Look what the left does on college campuses.
But what flag, Gene, before you go?
What flag do they wave?
At the anti-Trump rallies while they're beating up, mostly white, Donald Trump supporters.
I mean, there are all kinds of flags, but one of them is a rainbow flag.
The freaking Mexican flag at the Trump things.
In California, yes. I don't know about other places.
And the Bernie flags, all this other crap. But they don't wave American flags to the left. Why not?
All right,
they burn American flags whenever they do have them.
Diana in the chat room got your question right, so Diana's now 1 point ahead of me. But what you were talking about just now about the Trump rallies made me think about what's going on college campuses when you have progressives and lefties blocking access to arenas and discussions where conservative speakers are invited to speak. One of them, by the way, a conservative gay activist in Milo Yiannopoulos from Breitbart. Sorry, Milo, I don't know how to pronounce your last name now. I'll get on that real soon. But point being, this is what, you're absolutely right, this is what the left does. Divide and conquer, and then make them turn out at the polls and keep them in the same or as worse state as where they are now. Because progress is not really progress when you vote Democrat. What are you smiling about over there, Russ? You're doing something over there.
Speaking of accents, Andre just kind of bashed mine a little bit. You see what we wrote about?
No, he's actually bashing me. One accident. Okay, Russ sounds like a more intelligent Rocky. That's pretty good. I like that. Hey, yo, how you doing? Listen, we got a little bit of show left here. I think we're not exactly time for final thoughts, but let's wrap up this segment and let's leave the people with a little zinger here, Russ. I know you always like to leave emphatically when you might drop out of here. So,
well, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk more about this next week. But what about the
we're definitely talking about more
mayor
about this.
of London? Happens to be a
Sadiq Khan.
Sadiq Khan happens to be one of them. One of his first orders of business, from what I understand, is that he basically decreed that there will be no more racy type photos in any advertising throughout the city of London.
Well, that counts us out, Russ.
Now, I was saying, little known fact is actually Mayor de Blasio of New York City actually decreed that Gene and I should show less skin in our advertisements. But that's
finally something we can all get behind Mayor de Blasio with here in the People's Republic of New York City, by the way.
But this London mayor, this is bigger than people think. You may think, it's no big deal, that crazy London mayor and his shenanigans. This is huge.
With a Y.
This is a Western country, major city, being led by an Islamic, somewhat of an extremist, outright banning what women primarily can wear in advertising. If you don't think that's a big deal, and listen to think about what I preach about the left. They work incrementally. Today it's advertising. Tomorrow, it's your daughter in a separate school, in a burqa, and then out of school, and then not being allowed to drive. Wake up! Women, I keep warning you about this. Wake the hell up. Gene, me, Andre, we can grow a beard. We'll be all right. We're going to be all right. You people, on the other hand, and by you people, I mean women this time around, wake up, because you ain't going to be all right.
Oh, it's coming. And you know what? You're absolutely right about the incremental. And here's what I think we should be doing right now, Russ. I think every white guy out there, talk to one woman out there, not just to find out their number, but let them know that if and when the time comes, they're going to rely on you. They're going to laugh you off, of course. But God forbid down the line, if something does happen, that same woman may run to you for protection.
Now, well, first of all, Gene, let me tell you something. And look out. Let me tell you something.
Oh, Lord.
Women make up slightly more than
I was trying to save us from this, but I guess I'm not.
Women make up more than slightly half the population right now, and they vote more often than men do. So, if the world ever comes into the situation where the Islamics take over and women find themselves in that precarious position, guess what? You deserve it, and I'm not going to help you. Don't come to me for help. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to have 18 wives. You're all going to be cooking and cleaning around the house. That's it. This is your chance to stop it now. Once it happens, don't come to me. I'm not picking up a rifle to fight for you. You need to pick up a rifle and stand a post now.
And you know what? If you don't think it may happen, about a week ago, we never thought that an attack at a gay bar would happen in Orlando, Florida.
A lot of people have said that, by the way, Gene, including the government, which I find astonishing.
But by the way, I mean, and listen, we're running out of time in the show, but just to mention real quick, ISIS and their social media networks put out there that there was going to be an attack in Florida as far back as June 8th.
And we've been talking about it for years now, Gene, about soft targets. You don't get much softer of a target than a gay bar.
And that's what Willie was.
Disney World, which is where he was at the day before. Or a Burger King. Or McDonald's. Or any other soft target. This is too easy to accomplish. So don't think we're going to get less of these just because we don't say Islamic radical terrorism like President Obama says. will happen. We're going to get more of these things. As they get on TV and people realize how easy this is, that you cannot harden every target, and your gun-free zones are idiotic, there's going to be more of these. So wake the hell up. Get rid of gun-free zones. Arm yourself. Take these idiots out as soon as they start doing this nonsense.
And for God's sakes, don't wait for government to act. Act yourself. You got your own brain, don't you? Use it for once.
49 people killed. The man had to reload several times. Somebody needs to do something. Come on.
And with that, we're going to end this show. Great job, pal. But it's time to shut this sucker down. And I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank Adam and Andrew Marr from Warrior Angels Foundation coming on the show. Russ, you ready to shut this sucker down or what?
Stop all immigration from Muslim terrorist sponsoring countries until we figure out what the hell is going on. Get on the Trump train now, people.
Good night, folks. We'll be back next week.
Our position's been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. A Rock Radio production. Copyright 2016. Back in 7 days. Out.